Hi, everybody. I am back here with another conversation with somebody who is in platinum. And I'm so excited today for you to hear from Kate all about her business, her big moves, how she's been supporting women, her retreats, what she's up to. And we will find out at the end all the ways that you can work with Kate, hire Kate, be in her world. You'll get all the links and that sort of thing. But for now, I want to hand it over to you, Kate. And I would love if you could share with everybody what is your business? Who do you work with? And why do you love doing the work that you do?
Mm. Well, thank you so much for having me today. My business is Wild Abundance. I work with women primarily on whatever makes them feel abundant is kind of the way that I go with it. So that can be anything, whatever allows them to step into their power. Maybe it's, taking care of their their thoughts on their body image. Maybe they really just want to feel great in their skin. Maybe they want us to start a movement routine. Maybe they want to learn how to still their mind and ground themselves, or just level up somewhere in their lives that they feel they're called to do more in. I think so often women primarily women who are caretakers, whether that be a mother or an auntie or even, fur babies, you're
Mhm.
caring for somebody else. Maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's an elderly relative or a parent that you're a caretaker for. We tend to put ourselves last and put
Oh, yeah.
ourselves behind um, that caretaker version of ourselves. And then what we're left with is not a lot at the end of the day. And we're afraid to say, I want more. I
Mm,
deserve more. I need more. So it's giving people permission to step into that power and say, no, I deserve everything that I want. Regardless of the fact that maybe I'm a caretaker for someone else, I also deserve to have my dreams come true and my wants and desires fulfilled.
yes, I love that you just said that. Like we get to this place where we can be afraid to say, I do want more. And like it's kind of crazy to think that that's a scary thing to say. Like, is it okay to want more? Is it okay to say I deserve more or that I deserve a rest or a day to myself? And you really show up and provide that for the women that come into your community. What does your business model look like? How are you working with women?
So there are a few ways you can work with me. You can work with me one-on-one. So I do have one-on-one coaching clients. I have packages that are as small as 2 weeks for somebody just looking to kind of dabble in it, see if it's something for them, up to 1 year long.
Mm.
I also have a empowerment community of women where we have monthly call to actions. So every month it's a different call to action. Sometimes it's a movement activity, sometimes it's a stillness activity. This month we're actually reading a book for pleasure,
Ooh,
which I know sounds ridiculous, but sometimes it's hard to say, no, I deserve 20 minutes to sit here uninterrupted and just enjoy this book.
yes.
Enjoy going off into a fantasy world, whatever that may be, and really diving into that book. So, that is a place where we all come together as a community, so you can join in with me there. And then I also do offer courses a couple times a year on different topics
Yeah, and retreats. I got to
and
attend one of
retreat.
your retreats and it was so amazing. The movement and your voice. I mean, you're talking right now and I'm like, Kate needs a podcast. Your voice is so amazing, along with all the work that you do. So, Kate, what I would love to hear is you've just done 2 years in platinum. There's a crew of you that have done 2 years now. And from our end, we can really see like the exponential growth from year one to year two, and especially in the last, like, say, 6, 7 months of your life, just whew, like boulders being thrown your way. And you're like, whatever, I got this, and like move that boulder out of the way, and you're making it happen. But from your lens, what did you think that you were signing up to platinum for 1 year ago? So if you flash back to last October through December and you knew you were getting started in January, what were you thinking? Like, okay, I'm going to join this program because I need or want what?
Yeah. So it's funny because it never turns out to be what I think is going to come of things. So going into this year, I really was dead set that I was going to be 100% working within Wild Abundance and nothing else. I would have no outside commitments, not working for anyone else, just working for myself within Wild Abundance. And as the year went on, we had planned to move. My family and I had planned to move, and that started to unfold. And for anyone that has moved across country, it's not a small undertaking. We did
Yeah.
it with 2 children. We were kind of split up across the country for a while. So the idea of moving full time into Wild Abundance just didn't make sense for us at that given time. My husband had given up his full-time employment, went over to a temporary contract, and it just didn't feel like the right time to completely step into Wild Abundance and step away from my 9 to 5. But what it did happen in Platinum was not only these awesome things that happened in my personal life, but it kept me on track to continue to move forward with Wild
Mm.
Abundance, which I honestly do not believe that had I not been part of this container, I would have continued to move forward. I would
Mm.
have thrown my hands up and said, I have way too much on my plate. There's too much going on with my life. Wild Abundance is just going to have to sit there until there's more time. But
Mm.
instead, having this coaching container allowed me to continue to make steps forward in a way that still felt good for me and fit into what was happening in my world. I started my membership community. I held a retreat. I offered some different virtual class options. Um, and I don't think that I would have done that had I not been in this coaching container. I would have said, no way, all this other stuff that I have on the go is just more important. So now instead of coming into 2023 going, oh my gosh, I have to start all over with building an audience and
You
building a
don't.
clientele. I don't, because I've maintained that and I've grown that. Has
Mm.
it been the leaps and bounds that have made me completely sustainable in that career? No, it isn't, but it's still moving forward in that. And any movement forward is better than being stagnant or moving backwards. Um,
Absolutely. Yeah,
and
because
then
oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. And then in my personal life, I was just going to say, yeah, we've moved across country. We lived in an RV for a number of months this summer, which was a big hippie dream of mine. I know some people are like, why would you want to do that?
It
We,
was truly your bucket list. You were like, I
it
want
was.
this. And then all of a sudden, everybody was like, Kate is doing exactly what she said she wanted.
And I said it on an off the cuff call. I remember to this day being like, I just want to travel and be in my RV and live in it with my family. And then it happened. Yeah, and we've purchased a home that we are converting to an off the grid home, which is another one of our dreams that we wanted on the lake. So we are just ticking off those big bucket list dreams that we wanted while still moving forward in that business. And now 2023, it's just going to explode even more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think like exactly what you said. The only time that we have to start over is when we stop, and you didn't stop. And by you role modeling or by you living that, like, okay, my passion doesn't have to go on the back burner, even though there might be another laundry list of things to do. You're like, no, I still want to commit to the things that make me feel good. And then you get to role model that to all of the women in your community of like, this might feel like the absolute last thing on your priority list, but you have to prioritize yourself. And I think that that is like you walking your talk and talking your walk. So I think that is so needed. Kate, what we'd love to hear is what has the community aspect done for you? So whether it's been like a little community that you've made, like your own little network of people from Platinum, or if it's coming on to the community calls, but or if you share something and people support you, but how would you describe how the community has been for you this past year?
So community is a very important thing to me, especially in moving and no longer having that tight knit community that I came from. I have
Mhm.
this virtual community with inside this coaching container. Just before I got on this call, I was voice noting with someone else in the coaching group, asking them, what's the updates in their world? How are they doing? And we all just check in with each other and
Mhm.
encourage each other and share our posts on social media, or comment on those posts on social media and really hype each other up, which, if you've ever put a vulnerable post out on social media, which I know you have,
Mhm.
nothing is more terrifying than no one reacting. And when you
Crickets.
have, yes, when you have this container that comes along and recognizes what you're doing and recognizes how hard and vulnerable those posts can be.
Mhm.
And even putting an offering out there can be really vulnerable to say, hey, look what I've created. I
Yeah.
want you to come join me in my creation. And to have these other women that you know and respect go, yes, join her. We know the work that she's doing and it's good work is, I mean, not that we need to be validated by other people, but it is the ultimate validation.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the cheerleading. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
they really have my back. There's nobody forcing them to reshare or reach out and text you and say, how's your business going? It's genuine connection of like, hey, let's catch up. And, I know that there's a handful of you that have been in the journey together the past 2 years, and to see how you guys support one another it's just so, so, so special. So yeah, I think that you contribute so much to our community, and it's nice to hear how it feels like the community has contributed to you and your growth as well. Okay, so what we want to do with these calls is make sure that people know how to work with you. So, yes, I want to hear your perspective of being in platinum, and I would love to be able to put this on YouTube and on our podcast and all that, and it will be there. And for the people that are listening, they're probably like, okay, how do I find more of this person? Where is she? How do they pay you? Where are you at? So, why don't you let people know all of the places that you're hanging out, and we'll make sure it gets linked everywhere.
Perfect. So socials, you can find me on Instagram at wild underscore abundance underscore is
Okay.
my handle there. Wild Abundance Coaching over on Facebook. And then I do also have a website, which is wildabundance.co. Um, so all my offerings are listed on my website. Access to the group if you'd like to join in on the group membership. And I'm most responsive on Instagram to any messages that come through there. Facebook, I'm not quite as active on there, but it's a constant effort to be a little bit more active on that media.
Mhm. Yeah, and it is where your group is. So for people that are like, "Oh, I like Facebook and I want to hang out on Facebook," then you get to join the community, and then that's where you're hanging out with the community is over there. So that's pretty cool too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else, Kate, or do you feel like this is complete?
Yeah, no, this is great. Thank you so much for having me and allowing me to share a little bit of my story.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for being in platinum. We just want to continue to ride this entrepreneurial roller coaster with you for Mm, time immortal till we
Perfect.
can't see time ahead anymore. And we can't wait to see what's in store for you in 2023, and maybe consider a podcast or something with your voice.
Amazing. Thanks,
Okay.
Nicole.
Thanks, Kate.